make custom plaster. I like to keep my plaster for doing hand carving on the thicker side. And so we'll go ahead and get started here. First thing you want to do, wet this down a little bit. Just kind of loop it on a little bit. I'm going to make it 2 different rows for the outcropping. These are good for eastern rocks, for shale, that type of thing. And we're going to let that sit for a little bit. So I'll go back and play with it. Now, so I'm going to work on this road a little bit. Wet it down since it's set up now. And we're just going to get a basic rough contour in using the plaster of Paris. What I'm going to do is put dirt on for the road going up here. This is just to smooth this out. What I use is cake decorating knives. Had to get some plaster off of there. So what we're going to do is just kind of work this a little bit here. I use 2 different knives. One's smaller. Since this is a loading dock. What I did was when I built a loading dock, I took the grass, put a little bit of it up underneath of it before I even started or put the dock in place, just so it blended into the scene. I gotta give it just a shot of water again. This plaster's setting up already. So I got to get this worked out real quick here. This looks like an edge along here. We'll just kind of put a little hand carving a little bit along here. And I'll put some grass and weeds and stuff along the edge here. Let's fill that hole in a little bit right there. Still got a little bit of plaster inside the container here. It's getting hard, but we still can work it a little bit. We're going to blend these 2 here together just to cover this, because I'm going to put the dirt and weeds right here. I know this plaster here is starting to set up. That means the plaster on a rock. But we're going to do our rock carving is setting up. So as I get this a little bit here, what we're going to do is first we're going to take these gloves off the top. I never know how things are going to turn out. And we just start working it. You can do stratas straight across, which I'm doing here. You can do stratas on an angle. take a little bit of that, just stick it back up underneath there. So just take some of that off of there, and I'm gonna make a little ledge along there. Chop a little bit, and we'll just put that in there and work it a little bit. Same thing there. Looks like a little bit of towels in there. Time I get down putting dirt in there and some ground foam and that type of stuff. You can see this, but this is going back behind the building a little bit. Same thing, just gouging a little bit. And a little spot there, I will fill it back in. Smoother, make that level a little bit. You can use an X-Acto knife. Mine's in the other room and I had this handy, so it's a scalpel. This one was dull for cutting that kind of wood, so I'll just use it for this because it won't be worth anything now. Just kind of work it. Take a brush, just a cheap brush, because after you do this, it ain't worth a whole bunch. Just where the brush takes the strand on, go back and put it back in. Just work it a little bit. Now I'm going to use a different type of plaster. This is Structolite or perlite gypsum plaster. Plaster's called brown coat. It has little perlite gypsum in it, and it has a longer setting time than plaster of Paris. So I'm going to use this. Oops, forgot to wet this again. You always have to wet it. This could be my final coat here, then I'll go back over it and put the ground cover and stuff in. And we'll hit a little bit down there. I finished putting the roadway up there. Now we're just gonna, this is real easy. Just gonna give it a covering. They say this will takes a little bit longer to set up. So you have a little more playing time. Plaster Paris, you only got 10 minutes tops to work with it. So this here stuff, you just put it on. I had put a screw right there to hold that down, so we'll get rid of that. What's nice about this stuff, it gets hard, and it doesn't chip real easy. what's nice about it, it has a texture. Again, this is getting plexiglass across the front. Now we're going to run this down the side here. I had to plan on redoing this whole section. This was originally just went up and was straight, so I redid the whole thing to put the building in. I just got the building fairly not too long ago. I'm just gonna take a brush and smooth it out a little bit. Now I'm gonna wet this big old brush again, and I'm just gonna lightly blend this into the existing scenery, into my plaster of Paris. Get rid of the trowel marks. I'll let that dry a little bit. Then I'll go back and back over it a little bit more. Now if you want to make it look like there's ruts or grooves coming down, you can take the brush the other way. I'm going to make it out this Wooden Scenics roadbed material. I've cut some grooves in there. Let's see if I can get this to bend to this curved road. The reason I wanted to do this because it has a nice contour for the shoulder, and I didn't have that before. So this is going to be going. I'm going to glue this down, not right now, but I just wanted to show you. So this could be my road going across there, and then I'll go back and finish it. But it has a nice grade going down. And then I'm going to make a parking lot around here, and for the cars for the building here. So what we have is the loading dock is right here. This is going to be the parking lot coming in off the road. I glued this roadbed down with yellow carpenter's glue, and I've got it sitting all these cans on here to hold it in place. And then I'll go back over it with a real light coat of plaster to make it smooth but leave the contour edges in. And then next time we'll start putting some coloring on the rocks and putting a final coat of the start of putting the scenery material down.